Okay, so let's get started. I have already moisturized my face with my oil-free moisturizer Sensitive Skin from Neutrogena. I like this moisturizer because I have sensitive skin. It doesn't have any fragrance or anything like that in it, so it's pretty good for that. Now I'm going to prime my face with Urban Decay Quick Fix. So we're gonna let that sit in for a while. I'm gonna be using Estee Lauder's Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. I have used it twice before, and I have to be honest, for $42, I feel that it is not the greatest, but maybe I haven't given it too much of a chance because I feel like it dries up my skin and it kind of just is thick. But like I said, I've used it twice or 3 times before, so we're gonna give it another chance today. I did put heavy moisturizer. I put more moisturizer than usual to see if it would help with the drying issue. So I'm gonna use a dampened beauty blender for this. I won't be using my usual stippling brush because I feel like I need to get as much as moisture applying this foundation as possible in hopes that it will help. I'm gonna be applying it with my bhcosmetics foundation brush. Into the skin. I'm moving a little faster because usually with long wears they dry pretty fast, and so I don't want any blotches to start to become of the foundation on my face. We want to make sure that we blend really good by our hairline so that you don't see any spaces later. I think we've blended enough. Usually I would start with my tape concealer, but it doesn't always end well for me because then after I put on my eyeshadow, sometimes I have some fallout. I'm really feeling this acorn color right here. It's kind of like a glittery color. So I'm gonna start off with that to see what I come up with, using the brush that it comes with, that the palette comes with. These colors are very pigmented, so you have to be kind of careful because you might rub into it too much and then next thing you know you have all this product on your brush and it's like kind of like ODing a little bit. So I'm just gonna press in lightly in the middle of my lid. Use the other side that has product in it for the other eye. This color is very pretty, I think. Nice. I'm gonna leave that plain for now because I like to go in with highlighter later. And now I'm going to be using the color Fudge. I'm gonna press in lightly because like I said, these colors are very pigmented. And we're just gonna use really soft circular motions. I don't wanna get too much product in one area and then have like one area darker than the other. I'm going for a very even look. Now that I've gotten the color in most of my areas where I'd like for it to be, I'm gonna move it up a little bit, same circular motions. I'm using a little bit of a harder press now because I want that color to move around. And we're going to go into the crease. I'm going to focus on the crease for a while, make sure that darker color is really in there. And the end. Move it up more. Circular motions, guys. Okay. I'm gonna go in with New Wave. It's almost like a orangey color. I really like this color. When I first used this palette, it was the first color that I used because I fell in love with that one and the more yellow color, which is called Edge. So I'm just gonna dab into the New Wave and try to blend that in with the brown, the fudge. Just a little bit. And now I'm gonna go back in with Acorn, just to make that color stand out more, touch it up. I call this brush the straight edge brush because it's very flat, square, and it's just perfectly straight. I like to use it when I'm doing my lower lash line. So I'm going to be going in with Fudge for my lower lash line. So I'm just going to go straight across under that waterline. And as I'm going straight across with soft movement, I'm going to start to spread it out to make it look thicker for a smoky look. I said I was going to keep it simple, but it's starting to look like a dramatic look now. So I feel like I want to use another brush to kind of just like smudge it in so that it looks a little bit more blended and lighter. I feel like it looks too dark and just... It almost looks like eyeliner instead of eyeshadow. So for now, I'm going to use this little guy from BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to kind of like just try to like spread it and blend it in more so that it's not so, you know, concentrated in one area. Okay, so I think that's good with the smudging. I'm going to be using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. This is my favorite bronzer. It smells like chocolate. It is amazing. So I'm going to use my angled brush for my contouring. And I'm going to start off very lightly because this color is actually very pigmented. So I usually start off contouring where my cheekbone ends, which is right about here. And if I feel like I went over or it looks sloppy later, concealer will fix that later. Now I'm just gonna bronze up by my hairline. And my jawline underneath right here. My chin. When I contour my nose, I usually like to use my BH Cosmetics. It's an eyeshadow brush. It's number 23. I just preferably like to use it because I feel like it works. Whatever works for you. You don't necessarily have to use a brush that is for contouring. You can use anything that works for you, and so this works for me. I usually like to put a little bronzer right here, kind of just contour the middle of my lip to make my V stand out more. I believe that it helps to make my top lip look bigger. So we're going to bring that up, and we're going to try to blend this in right here, up into the bottom lower eyebrow line. Now I'm feeling like it's a little spotty, and so I'm going to go in with my damp beauty blender that still may have some foundation on it, and just kind of dab it so that it blends in a little better. In order to finish off our contouring, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Light Medium. So I'm just going to go up the bridge of my nose, the middle of my forehead. We're going to go underneath here, dabbing very lightly, because I don't want to mess up or cover my eyeshadow line. I dab a little here because I'm very red there usually. Now I'm gonna go in with a brush underneath my eyes because I don't want it to spread too much onto my eyeshadow and then mess that up. So I'm gonna go in with a regular eyeshadow brush. And I'm just gonna go across a line like this. And I'm kinda gonna keep it sharp at the end up here so that we can clean up our eyeshadow look and give it kind of like a nice angle. Nice and neatly. I find that applying my concealer in this area like this first helps to not give it like a kind of caked look. And I notice that usually when I'm using concealer, if I don't do this and I just kind of like blend it in with even with a damp beauty blender like first before anything, it kind of just looks caked to me and I don't like that look. So going in with a brush first and getting those areas where I want the concealer to be helps to me, I think. And it helps to keep it kind of like precise in the areas where you want the concealer to be. I'm just going to run down my nose with the same brush so that we get like a nice straight line, and my forehead right here. And so now that I've spread the concealer evenly underneath my eye and my nose and my forehead, I'm going to go and start blending here first because I don't want it to start drying. I like to get the side of my nose because my nose is very wide, and so I feel like putting a lighter color on the sides helps it to be, you know, contoured the way that I want it to be. So we're gonna press really good to get that product in there and to not have such a caked look. Now that that is all said and done, I'm gonna tap up here as well because I feel like it may be too dark in that corner when I was bronzing. So we're gonna get that darker color out of there. And as I said before, to cut this and make it more precise right here underneath that cheekbone, I'm going to be using the tip of my beauty blender. And I'm going to be taking, you can either take the foundation, the same foundation that you used, or you can use your concealer. But I'm going to be taking a little bit of my foundation because I still have some of my little spread palette here. And I'm just going to make a line like this, right underneath that cheekbone. And I'm going to tap to blend it in so that it's not all concentrated in one area. And just clean it up nicely like this with the tip. I could dab over it a little bit so that I'm going to be using a Tarte blush in the color Royal. It's kind of like a brownish toasty color, and since we're doing brown today, I'm going to be using this. Take my blush brush. I find that with the Tarte blushes, you have to like really press into them. They aren't as pigmented as other blushes that I'm used to, but I still use them because I really like the colors that they have. So we're going to smile a bit. I'm going to get that on to there. Don't mind me, guys, I'm like literally all over the place. I really don't have a precise order in which I do things. Maybe one day I will organize myself and have an order planned out. And now, I love this highlighter. Anastasia Glow Kit. It's actually called the Sun Dipped Glow Kit. I love these colors, guys. We have Bronze, Summer, Tourmaline, and Moonstone. I'm gonna go in with Moonstone. And I like to go as high as possible, the very top of my cheekbone. Now I'm going to do the V. I like to run it down my V lines that I have up here. And then the V right here on the very tip of my lip. The reason for putting out the tip of your nose is so that your nose looks a little slimmer and kind of just brings it up a little bit and makes it look a little bit more pointier. Now as for lips, I was kind of eyeing this high voltage lipstick from NYX in the color Tangerine. It's a nice cream stick. It's actually a very pretty color. It's just really creamy, and I'm not a fan of like really creamy lipsticks because I feel like they move too much and then spaces start to occur. But if you like for your lips to be really wet and moisturized, then that's a really good lipstick. Prior to buying a big size, I like to purchase the smaller travel sizes so that I can see how the product works first for me and if I like it or not, and then if I like it, I'll purchase the bigger one. But I do absolutely love this Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It is awesome. Really don't need to apply much because these eyelashes are so dramatic, but we want to make sure that they're nicely colored and that there's no eyeshadow on them. So going over them with mascara is definitely needed. Ooh, I forgot something. How dare me. Some highlighter in the corner of my eye. How could I forget that? I am completely nuts. And now I'm going to be using tourmaline for the corner of my eye. Maybe it'll match with the eyeshadow. So I kind of just go by dabbing first, like a little dot in the corner. Right, like so. Now I'm going to go in with a circular motion into that very indent of your eye socket in that corner, in the inner corner. It makes the eye stand out, and it kind of just, we're just kind of finishing off the eyeshadow look. And then I'm going to put a little here at the very beginning before the eyeshadow. That's a little bit, circular motions, kind of just concentrated in that very corner. And now we can use some setting spray. So I use the Urban Decay De Slick, and it is a really good oil control setting spray. So what I'm going to do is, I have a technique that really works for me, I feel. I'm going to spray first, and then I'm going to blow it. You can do this with a piece of carton, a paper, whatever works for you, until it's completely dry. I feel like it really sets in. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.